So I'm back again, and in this one we're talking about social media, and I'll tell you now, it's not good for you. And I've got another list for you, and it's 10 reasons why it's not good for you. So stick around for this one and find out what I've got. King D back with another one, and this video is called 10 Ways Social Media is Ruining Your Life.
Number 1.
Comparing yourself to others. You need to remember, guys, what you're seeing from other people is what they want you to see. Everyone's living their best life on social media. Well, that doesn't mean that's true. I mean, you could have people look happy as Larry on there, but in reality, they are miserable. And I dare say if they're posting stuff all the time on social media, they are miserable. But if you're always looking at other people as well and what they're doing, and then you're comparing yourself to them, that is no way to live your life. There'll be another video on this separately at some point. But your life's your life. Don't worry about anybody else. Just worry about yours. And again, I've just did a video on filters. Now, for the ladies, they'll be looking, oh, why don't I look like her? She doesn't look like her. It's friggin' filters.
Number 2.
It's killing your attention span. It really is. I've covered this before, but allowing yourself to be bored is good for you. It really is. That's why meditation's good for you. It's fucking boring. And if you don't think it's killing your attention span, ask yourself this. How many of you can sit and watch a film without scrolling through your phone? How many of you can sit down for a shit without taking your phone? You know what I'm saying? I'll get a bit more onto this as well, but yeah, it's affecting your attention span, and difficult things that you should be doing, you aren't doing.
Number 3.
It's ruining your dating life. For one thing, it's become this big game of validation and attention seeking, so it's all instant gratification, quick dopamine hits, and that's not healthy. So it is literally reprogramming you to be in that instant gratification mindset. So say if you did get into a relationship, as soon as you get to that first hurdle, which all relationships you're going to get them, you're very quick, or the person you're with is going to be very quick to call it a day. Sod that, that's too much hard work. Not when I'm getting all this attention and stuff from other people. Which brings me to my other point. There's too many options on there. Now, women are hypergamous by nature. They aim up, which I've covered before. I'll go into more depth in some point as well. So they all want the best man they can possibly get. Well, it was alright when it was just that tribe back in the day. It was pretty easy to pick which one was going to be suited for which person. But now we're talking miles and miles, thousands of miles of people covered all through social media. You can just find it, everybody, with a few clicks of a button on your phone. So yeah, it's that access to way more options, and having too many options is never a good thing, really. So that's keeping a lot of women single, because they're like, well, I'm still young, I'll keep going till I find the best one. Well, then obviously she's not going to be top tier for that long. You know, her looks are going to decrease as she gets older, which for some reason women aren't aware of this one. So yeah, while they're all chasing after the highest sort of blokes they can get hold of, your average Joe's not getting a look in. So all the average Joes out there, they ain't getting anything. They're not getting a text back. And I'm only covering this briefly, but I will go deeper into this subject in another video on its own. It definitely warrants its own video, because it's going to take a while to really explain this one to you and make sense of it.
Number 4.
I mentioned it earlier, but it is programming your mind for instant gratification as opposed to delayed gratification. And I'll do a video on instant and delayed gratification at some point soon as well, because this is a biggie. Well, basically, Your social media, it's a distraction that's readily available right there, and it's giving you dopamine hits every time you go on it. And to acquire them sort of level of dopamine, you'd have to work hard for that, which is the delayed gratification. But what's going to win? Oh, I could do all that work that needs doing, and that's going to make me feel good, and I'm going to get that hit of dopamine like I've achieved something. Or I could scroll on me social media for 20 minutes. What's going to win? And if you don't believe me, how many of you, think about this one, have put off doing a job that you was meant to do, and instead you just sat there on social media? I just spotted my hands there, by the way. I've just come home from work, so I will jump in the shower, honest.
Number 5.
And this is a big one as well. It's killing human connection. Literally, human connection is dying by the day. And it's more about who's popular now. It's like, oh, look how many friends I've got. But it's not about how many friends you got. It's quality over quantity. If you got them true close friends, well, you're trading them in for all this attention. It's a load of bollocks. And other ways it's killing human connection is that we're spending too much time on our phones and not interacting with each other. Now, when I'll see kids going to visit the grandparents, they don't even look the grandparent in the eyes. The head's down there in the phone. And it's like that. Your granny's going to die one day. She ain't going to live forever. And when you lose her, you're going to think, oh, I never experienced her. And you didn't, because you were stuck on your fucking phone. Again, couples as well. How many couples do you see where they don't talk to each other anymore? One sat on one side of the sofa, the other one's on the other. They're not looking at each other, they're not talking to each other, and they both got their heads in the phones. I've been out and I see friends together, and I tell you now, they'll all be sat round the table, not one of them talking to another one. What the fuck is going on? They're literally all sat there on the phones. So yeah, I'm being genuine when I say it's killing human connection. It is dying by the day, and we need to do something about it.
Number 6.
It's killing your self-esteem, and I've covered this in my last video, but them filters, I'm not going to keep rambling on. If you haven't watched that video, just go and watch that one. But second of all, people are basing their worth off of the likes and comments and attention that they're getting on social media, which ain't good. So basically, if you're pinning all your worth as a human being on how much attention you're getting on social media, well, it's very flimsy. Do you know what I mean? Well, what's going to happen when you put that, I don't know, selfie on there and you get 0 likes and love hearts? Is that going to ruin your day? It's no way to live your life, and putting your happiness and your self-worth in other people's hands are deadly. You've got to look to yourself and just really look at yourself and think, I am who I am and I am proud. And if you're not proud of who you are, you need to forgive yourself. That's the first step. But then you need to do the hard work as well. And you'll hear me say this all the time.
Do the hard work.
And subscribe to my channel, of course. And I'll help you with it.
And number 7.
It's an addiction. And if you don't believe me, they've got professionals out there, people paid to make these apps as addictive as possible to keep you on them. They're trying to keep you hooked on these, and it's very sinister when you think about it. Especially because they surely know what damage it's having on people. How they sleep at night, I do not know. But yeah, these sites are literally designed to keep you on them. Even down to the colour of your notification, or if it's red, it'll stand out more and people see that as more like, oh, I'm going to stay on. It's sinister, it's bad. And if you don't want to think of it as an addiction, well, most of you already know it's not good for you. Social media is bad for you, but you're still doing it. Just like most addictions, you're a drug addict. You know them drugs aren't good for you, but you're still doing it. And most of the time, for most of you, and all I bet, you don't even enjoy doing it, and you're still doing it. Every time you click onto your phone, it's like Groundhog Day all over again. Every day is the same. Oh, she's posted another filter. Oh, she's got tits out today, so it must be a particularly bad day. Oh, Doreen from up the road, she's having beans on toast. Do you know what I mean? It's the same shit every day, and you're still logging on to have a look all the time. Now, I remember myself about a year or so ago, I went onto my phone and it showed me app usage, how long I've been on an app. And I was like, oh my God. I look and I was like averaging over an hour on Facebook a day. I'm thinking, fucking hell. I couldn't believe it. So you think, I don't know, hour and a half a day, right? That's 10 hours a week, innit? And at the time I'd be wondering, why is my novel not getting done? And I'd tell myself things like, well, I ain't got time. I've been busy. I've got this, that and the other. Can you imagine if I spent that hour and a half that I was spending on social media and I put that into something productive? Can you imagine? Which brings me back to my point before, it's killing your motivation. It really is.
Number 8.
It's breeding narcissism, and it really is. All these virtue signalers, oh my God. Whenever there's another disaster in the world, they love that, don't they? They really do. It's an excuse and a way to show how much they are such a good person. Look at me, look how good I am as a person and how much I care. I changed my profile picture to me with the Ukraine flag. And then they'll bang on about, some oppressed sort of people and how, oh, this is not fair and all this, that and the other. That's all they're doing. And don't get me wrong, there are good people doing good things, but there's a lot aren't. And most people have got good ways of looking at life. I mean, look at the transgender people, right? I don't care what you do, right? You do you. As long as you're not hurting anyone, I couldn't give a shit. But just because, I think they should crack on, do whatever they want, doesn't mean I'm going to change my profile to a big rainbow. Hey everyone, look at me. What a bollocks. And if you don't believe me that people virtue signal, right? Here's a classic example, and I've seen this loads of times. In fact, I've called it out on Facebook before because it boiled my fucking blood. How many people have you seen giving money to homeless people on camera and posted online? You're not feeding ducks at the fucking pond, you fucking prick. That's a human being at their most vulnerable. And you're filming it to look like an absolute fucking do-gooder, like you're the fucking bee's knees. It's disgusting. It is fucking sick. And that is exactly why I know people fucking virtue signal, and a lot fucking do. So if anyone wants to call me cynical and say, oh, it's not virtue signaling, it's showing awareness, it's like, oh, watch the fucking news. We all know there's war in Ukraine. We ain't going to change our fucking profile picture to a fucking flag. And nowadays it's opinions over facts. That really rattles me. And it's who can shout the loudest and who can say it in the best way. Oh yeah. Load of bollocks. Like modern feminism, the perfect example. What rights do men have that women don't in this modern world? Shut the fuck up. And another thing, everyone's a mini celebrity nowadays, aren't they? In their own little world. Hey, look at me. Everything they do. Oh, the world's going to love to see this. We don't give a shit. And people got... Honestly, it's ridiculous. Any action, they're like, oh, better put that on Facebook. Better let the world know. Because they're going to want to know that I've just took my bin out. We don't give a fuck.
Number 9.
Encouraging victim mentality. Again, more attention seeking. And if you don't believe me that people are attention seeking, how many people on your Facebook tag themselves at A&E? What the fuck? And then half of them won't even write why they're in there. They want to build that suspense in your head, and they want as many comments and likes and shit as they can draw out of you. So if they don't say anything, they're hoping in your head it's going to be worst case scenario. Fucking hell, are you okay? You okay, hon? Inbox me, babes. Fuck off.
Number 10.
fucking hands. It's causing depression and anxiety. Have you noticed how since social media blew up that so did social anxiety and depression? It ain't no coincidence. And one of the reasons with the social anxiety is because no fuckers talking anymore. Everyone's got the fucking head in the phone and they're not engaging, talking, eye contact. They're not doing that anymore. There's no wonder they're fucking socially awkward and anxious. And again, it's feeding into the victim. Oh, I'm a victim. I've got social anxiety. Because you taught yourself that you've got it. And then the people with real social anxiety, well, that means fuck all now, doesn't it? So yeah, getting back to the victim mentality, or making the actual victims, what are you doing to them? They must look at you and think, you are a right prick. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. And pretty much for all these sections on this list, I could do my own video for each, because they probably do need to be broken down and getting more deeper into them. And I'll do some research as well at some point, and back it up with actual facts and whatnot. For those of you that think I'm talking absolute dog shit, and I'm sure there's a few. But anyway, I better jump in the shower, and I better wash these hands as well. So like the video, drop us a comment, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, be the best you, and do it for you. Cheers.